Okay, welcome to the fourth of our social influence series, and this one is on independent behaviour, i.e. why we don't conform or obey, and we have situational factors and dispositional factors. First of all, situational factors of why we don't conform or obey.
Number one, an authority figure's legitimacy when an authority figure's legitimacy is challenged. For example, Milgram's experiment in an office block as a less prestigious venue challenged the legitimacy of the authority.
It does. Also, the responsibility for the individual is high. When the responsibility for the individual is high. For example, Milgram's touch proximity experiment, when you had to force a hand onto the shock plate, that equated to more disobedience.
We can also emphasize the importance of a group in strengthening disobedience. So when a group of people all disagree with the authority, obedience is lowered. For example, Milgram's experiment with two peers.
Yep, when they both disagreed.
Yep.
Also, reactants. This is where individuals react against doing something unjust by doing the exact opposite, and you can support this by the study we're about to explain.
And finally, systematic processing. We're more likely to display independent behavior when given time to think about actions. The study below is also an example.
So this study that we're about to talk about, called the Rebellion Study. What was this about, Joe?
So basically they had 33 volunteers that were paid to attend a discussion about a manager who was sacked by an oil company due to his offensive lifestyle in the local community. It became clear that the participants' views were irrelevant and human resources just wanted them to agree in favour of the sackings on film to be used in court. They were asked to sign a consent form, but all participants repelled in some way. 25 participants refused to sign the consent form, and 9 threatened legal action against the company. Therefore, the norms of obedience and commitment were both broken.
Yeah, so we can evaluate this. First of all, it's high realism. It's an unusual situation, but the participants were unaware it was an experiment, so actually their behaviour was probably like to be free of demand characteristics. However, participants were deceived, so they couldn't give informed consent. That's an ethical issue. Another ethical issue is their protection from harm was not guaranteed, as it was a stressful situation. And also, it's probably difficult to separate the causes of disobedience here. Could it be that it was because of they didn't want to be seen lying on a film in court? It could have also been the group nature of the discussion or the decision, or something else entirely.
Okay, let's move on to dispositional factors or individual differences.
So, we're talking about personality here, basically. Not just personality.
Yeah, just
individual differences.
So, gender differences. Meta-analysis found that women are more likely to conform than men. Maybe this is because women are more interpersonally orientated and more concerned with social relationships.
Maybe. Other factor, personality characteristics. So a study here found that high conformers generally had a low self-esteem, and also if you had low intelligence, you probably had more need for social approval.
And locus of control, which is important, so listen up.
This is a big one.
Yeah. The sense of control people have over their successes, failures, and events in their life measured on a scale.
So if you have an internal locus of control, so you're saying that you basically influence the events in your life yourself. They all occur down to your own behaviour. But if you have an external locus of control, this is more, you think things are to do with external factors, things like luck or fate that determine your life course.
An example of external locus of control is being promoted at work and thinking it's just because your boss is in a good mood, whereas somebody with high internal locus of control would know that it's down to hard work and effort.
So we can evaluate this locus of control business. First of all, Milgram, he found that the disobedient participants scored high on internal locus of control. So basically they felt personally responsible. Obedient participants scored high external locus of control, so they felt the experimenter was responsible, so that makes sense there.
They found that non-Jews in the Holocaust with internal locus of control were more likely to protect and rescue Jews.
They were, so that's another 4. However, an against here, it was found that conformers are particularly non-assertive, but did not score differently on the locus of control scale. This implies that assertion may be more important than locus of control with regard to conformity.
And finally, an argument for this method or this theory is the meta-analysis, where conformers had a higher score on external locus of control.
Yeah, so that makes sense there too. And that concludes your independent behaviour.
Next time we'll be going through
social change, which is our last one in social influence, in the last one in Unit 2. Oh no, it's not. You've still got individual differences. Oh well. Enjoy.